Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Norm of the North. So Norm of the North stars Rob Schneider, Heather Graham, and Ken Jeong. What this film is about, it's when a real estate development invades his Arctic home, Norm has to head to New York City to basically protect his homeland. So yeah, so what I think of Norm of the North. Why do I do this to myself? Why? Why do I do this to myself? You wanna know why? Because for you. I sit through these pieces of garbage for you. For you. Because Norm of the North is absolute trash. Norm of the North is a terrible movie. Now, like in 50 Shades of Black, I'm not going to really scream or really rant all that much because my throat is still hurting, so that's unfortunately, I can't rip this movie to shreds, but I will still try my best. So, let's get into my positives. There are no positives with Norm of the North. Let's just jump straight into the negatives because, oh boy, do I have a lot of negatives with Norm of the North. The acting. The voice acting is absolutely atrocious. Nobody is good in this movie. Everybody is awful in this film. Everybody does such a terrible job in Norm of the North. Rob Schneider, right there, that should already be the moment where you're like, why? I'm not even going to bother to see this movie. The fact that Rob Schneider, one of the worst actors to ever live, is the main star of the film. That should already be a red flag right there. Rob Schneider, he's terrible in this movie. Of course, he's Rob Schneider. He plays, of course, Norm, and he's terrible. He is awful in this movie. He really is. Heather Graham, like, what has she done with her career lately? Like, really? Like, she's been in some good movies, and now she's just like, you know what? I'm just going to star in all these piece of garbage films. Because, man, she's terrible in this. She's awful. She really was. She's terrible in this film. Ken Jeong, what are you doing with yourself, man? You're already in 2 films that I've said are complete garbage. Right Along 2, and now this. Ken Jeong, he plays like the villain of the film, and he is terrible. He's awful as the villain. He does such a terrible job in this film. Ken Jeong, I don't know what you're doing with your career right now. You were terrible in this movie. Bill Nighy's even in this film. Man, what are you doing with your career as well? First, you're in the cinematic abomination known as I, Frankenstein. Now you're in this movie. What are you doing? Like, obviously, he's not making any good career choices as well. Bill Nighy's terrible as well in this film. Gabriel Iglesias, why are all these good people, excluding Rob Schneider, are in this movie? Just why? The animation is trash. When I tell you trash, it is trash with this movie. It looks like it was a straight-to-DVD animated film. And this movie was supposed to be a straight-to-DVD animated film, but for some reason, the studio wanted to release it in theaters. And this movie didn't even make that much money. It really even did. It bombed at the box office. So, good job on you, studio. I mean, the animation is just awful with this movie. Like, there's even parts where their voices are out of sync, like, it won't match of when they're talking. I'm not kidding. Oh my goodness, the animation is just awful with the film. The comedy is terrible. Not even a 4-year-old will laugh at this. I'm being serious. Not even a 4-year-old will laugh at these jokes, because the comedy is terrible with this movie. The writing is atrocious with Norm of the North. It has some atrocious writing, in my opinion. The directing is absolutely terrible with Norm of the North. I mean, just absolutely atrocious. The pacing, oh my goodness. This movie is so boring. Boring. this movie is so boring. It's an hour and 30 minutes, and that is absurd for this movie. I'm sorry, it really is. And man, I was just bored the entire time. I fell asleep for about a minute. I was that bored. Like, just for a minute, really. I did fall asleep, and oh my goodness. Because of just how boring this movie was. So yeah, even kids will be bored by this film. They really will, because it's just so boring. So yeah. Guys, Norm of the North is an awful film. It is an awful animated film. It is one of the worst movies I've seen in 2016. So yeah. Guys, if you couldn't tell already, my official grade on Norm of the North is an F. An F, F, F. Norm of the North is a horrible animated film. It is now my third worst film of 2016. Man, we're not even 2 months into the year, and I've already given out 4 Fs. What does that tell you? And we thought 2015 was bad. So yeah. So, what did you guys think of Norm of the North? Leave in the comment section below. And I'm WWE Fan 0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.